We are back with session number 4 tonight. It is Monday night. It is our Monday night DJ news to talk about those things that are out there burning a hole in your consciences. This is what we do here. We've got MJ, we've got Dan, and Shady's back with us. Yay!
Yay!
I thought that was Juan. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. Am I? Or no? What were you guys calling him? Schwan? What?
Wani.
Oh my God, I was dying when I watched that. That was hysterical.
Yes, Juan filled in the last couple of weeks.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was turning knobs too, so we're all so happy.
I saw that.
We're all so happy. So we've got some topics tonight. Which one do we want to start with? I don't have the list in front of me. I didn't pop that up.
Well, we have something about a certain company. I don't know them. I've never heard of them before. What noise is going on? We're dying here. Someone is exploding. One of the four of us
It's a Pokemon. A Pokemon's hidden somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. My
Pokemon.
He's attacking.
Ooh. I'm not playing the game, so I really don't know. But it does. It sounds like. I don't know if the live feed can hear it, but we definitely hear it on our end.
Yeah, it sounds like a vacuum or something in the background.
I think it's Dan. Do you have two mics on? Somebody has two mics on picking up.
You think so?
No, I don't have two mics. I just have the one with the laptop.
Yeah. Well, now it's gone, so we'll run. This is part of doing live production or live shows, gang. You get weird things happening and such. If you're watching this out on Facebook Live, you can in the description should be the link for the show to watch it on YouTube. You get a little bit better feed, and it will also allow you to follow in the chat and ask questions and such. Let's not start with Rane. What was the other one?
We have camper camera, and we have the troubles and woes of a touring DJ.
Okay, so let's start with the camper, the camper one. Today I saw for the first time a little web page that talked about converting a camper, a little small RV, into a photo booth. And I was wondering, is that something that you think would have legs? Oh, great. MJ's got it there. If you pop that up.
What happened? It all disappeared. There it is.
You got to click on that. We're not seeing the right window.
No, but we're seeing all your private messages.
What the heck?
Yeah, usually you're so good with that.
Which one is up? Desktop. What message are you seeing?
Good. Okay, now we see.
There we go. There you go.
What I have up is my notes on one of the stories tonight. My entire book that I write always. Go ahead, John. You describe.
So yeah, you've got just a nice little. It's an old retro camper from probably the mid '70s, and they've made it into this really kind of cool retro-esque photo booth.
With the way a lot of the weddings are going for, the country chic, you get the barn weddings and things like that. I can definitely see this working because it's not something that's going to be inside. It's something that's going to be going out to do something you're going to participate in outside of the venue. So for those of us that are doing a lot of these types of events, I see it being kind of cool. Not something I'm going to take the money and invest in personally, but definitely could see where there'd be a huge market for it in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just even thinking with some of the nicer venues I have in the area, there's a couple of them that would be really cool that you could, as you're saying with barns and such, but you could go and have it outside and people would have that traffic back and forth. But then there's some of the venues that have the large enough overhead doors where you could literally drive or wheel that thing right in and have it in there.
I've seen a couple actually, not, you mentioned the camper one, but I've also seen like a VW bus where they've done the same type of idea where they've cut it all apart and basically you walk into it and you take your picture just the same as the camper idea.
Ryan mentions bringing it to sporting events. Yeah, that would be kind of a cool thing for even a tailgating. You could be out there with that, and you could be having the logo of the football team or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that's like an outside event is definitely going to, get the traffic there. For a lot of the weddings that are inside, You got people now walking outside to take pictures, so you're losing your guests. It's fine if maybe they want to have it for cocktails and dinner, and then close it. Then only have it for a certain amount of hours, and then close it down for while the dancing starts. So you're not competing with an outside photo booth. But I definitely think it's a really cool idea, and it's different.
Jimmy, I think you're kind of missing how this works. It's to take pictures in and not rent it for 10 minutes at a time. Although you might make more money renting it out for 10 minutes at a time, but I don't think that didn't look like how they had it designed.
It's a photo booth.
Yeah.
Well, you can make some money off the photos. But
Jimmy's trying to make money on every avenue.
Oh, Jimmy.
If the photo booth is a rockin', don't come knocking.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. The second article that I found this past week, and I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys got a chance to read through it, but what I picked up from it was talking about touring DJs that are out there doing their thing. And the part that was kind of interesting is that if you didn't live that kind of that rock star lifestyle with the alcohol or drugs or have your posse with you, the isolation and loneliness. And Shani, I mean, you travel a lot for what you do, and MJ, you've traveled a lot.
I'm leaving tomorrow. I leave tomorrow again, so yeah.
What kind of speak to that a little bit? I mean, when you're out on the road and you're away from family and your friends there, but you're probably all by yourself in some of these locations. What's that like?
It's a hard life. I always tell people, you see the great pictures on social media, you see the end result on social media, you see the parties, you see the excitement. You don't see everything else. You don't see the 3-hour delay at an airport. You don't see people running, trying to make a connecting flight. You don't see, you get to the hotel and this room is, dirty, or you're next to somebody else that's just making too much noise and you only have 3 hours to try to sleep before you have to go do sound check and this and that. So it's like, it's a very, very hard life and you have to be careful in it. And I mean, when I was a dancer in that life and I was on tour with a lot of artists, it's hard, a lot of, they get free alcohol. They give them premium alcohol, and they give them, besides of what's going on in the green room, even inside the club, there's a table right next to the DJ booth that's specifically for the DJs and their friends and this and that. And it's hard. And once you start, it's hard to stop. You say, oh, I'm just going to have one drink tonight. And then you go to the next place and everybody's, let's give it up for this person and just DJing. And it's just hard. It's hard. You're like, oh, you get to sleep all day and you'll sleep it off. And no, I mean, you don't want to, you're not DJing with a hangover. It's a very, very hard life, and you have to know how to get through it and know what to do. And I can't wait till I get home from my out of town events and get back to familiar house and my bed and eating right and exercising again. And even though, now a lot of hotels have 24-hour gyms, and, I bring protein bars now, and it's like, I want to try to live a very healthy life. And it takes a toll on a lot of people. And that's why a lot of some of the famous DJs now are retiring, or you see them going into rehab because they're just living a hard party life. And people are like, oh, if that was me, I wouldn't do that. You don't know it till you're in that scene and people are around you, and it's hard. I mean, MJ could talk about it too. It's very hard.
The thing I actually was talking to somebody about this the other day was that you didn't touch on. It's all the party life. Let's just talk about how well or unwell you eat when you're on tour. It's really hard to find healthy food especially like if you're touring like I didn't have a big budget, so you kind of had to eat cheap, and it's very hard to eat healthy cheap. So, there's so many little things. There's a night I was at a festival where I didn't even have a hotel to sleep in. I slept in my car, and all my stuff was in the back, and it got cold. So I had to take the floor mat and bring it up and use it as a blanket. So, there's endless stories between the actually, getting a nice hotel, which I've had those two, to getting crap or not, or the place going, oh, we thought we had that book for you and we don't. And this is a good example. Shani said you don't see behind the scenes. A couple of years ago, I was part of a big casino opening, and they had Miss Pennsylvania was there. Heinz Ward was there, all these other people. And we're all kind of like joking around, like this is big and glamorous. This is being broadcast on this and that. And then one person was like, yeah, I have to get home to a babysitter with 2 babies in diapers and crying. And someone else is like, yeah, I'm actually leaving here and hitting the grocery store because it's the only time I have to hit the grocery store because I'm drunk. And we're all just like, the second we all leave, glamour is gone.
So true. It's back to reality. Like, it really is. Like, I'm like, all right, I got to do laundry. Oh my God, I have to go buy groceries. There's nothing for me to eat at the house.
Or especially if you're on tour in laundry.
Yeah, right.
You're checking clothes. Trust me, you're hanging clothes out the window of the van while you're driving because you know in an hour you have to wear this thing that you've worn 3 times already. It's tough, and let alone what the articles talk about is the access, like Cheney said, to alcohol and drugs and whatever. It's easy to get caught up quick, and like you look at Avicii. What is it? 5 years?
Yeah.
And he's already done. You know, that's an example.
And how old is he?
Early 20s, yeah.
Exactly. Like it's not like he's been in the industry that long, that he's done 20 years as a music producer and this and that. He's very, very young.
Yeah. Carl Cox was another one that was in that article. And Carl I know he's older than I am, and he's been touring forever. And he talked about a while back that it was like 14 years ago, he had a real bad medical scare. And even beyond him slowing down after that point, he realized he had to slow down again. You know, so, and there's someone who's been doing it for 20, 30 years or whatever, however long he's been. I mean, I'm pretty sure since he was a teenager, but it's tough. And I guarantee anybody who works any level, if you just do local gigs and weddings to where you're constantly running to meetings and stuff in a smaller way, you can get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it can be one of those things where we're always having to put this front on with our guests and with our clients and stuff like that, to where, you know, it appears to be the life of the party and stuff like that. And then you sit back and you realize, well, I've talked to this person, you know, because they were my clients and they've become friends, but now they're gone. And now I'm doing like the whole friendship cycle over again with the next group. And it becomes a very, lonely to a degree, if you will, because you never really get those lasting friendships because you're going through the friendship cycle. Now, I know there's exceptions, and you say you always make friends with your clients, but you're not going and hanging out with them because when they're free, guess what? You're on to your next wedding. You're on to your next event. And that, I think that's one of the things that really struggles for me is because every time that my friends are free, I'm working, and every time that they're working, I'm free. So it just doesn't, it's very hard. It's very hard on a local scale, of course.
I always like to call them, Dan, what you were talking about, they're your 5-hour friends.
Yeah.
You're absolutely best friends with them for the 5 hours of the wedding, you know. And it's tough because, you know, you have to be that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've got exactly at 12:01. It's all over, baby.
Yeah, it's like Cinderella.
Yeah, you're only my friend if you're helping me pack up after that.
Get away. Cool. Let's take a little break. We've got another topic we're going to hit. We've got get our sponsors in for tonight. These are our sponsors for summer 2016 DJ and TV shows. I'm going to kick it off with our DJ Event Planner spot.
Woo. DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
All right, we are back, and we have our next topic. MJ, I'm going to have you introduce our final topic. Well, it may not be our final topic, but our last planned topic for tonight.
I definitely have enough information on it. Tonight we're going to talk about a DJ's life when it comes to dealing with Pokemon. Now,
No, that
wait a
means
minute.
you
I'm gonna
need to have the app downloaded.
yes, I have the app downloaded,
Yeah,
but it's
Yeah, I don't.
it hits the server's down right now. At least it was a little bit ago. So, anyways, we're going to talk about the biggest news I think of last. It'll come on, watch, John. It'll come on after that. It's still down. The big news that came up last week was the sale of one of our most iconic brands.
I'm not happy.
Well, see, when I get done tonight, I'm going to probably flatline everybody's ups and everybody's downs is what my hope is, to realistically look at this realistically. So first question, I broke this down because all of us, we have feelings about these things. And people talk about that, is Rane dead? Okay, what is the definition of dead, first of all? Because they say disco's dead, but I still see disco parties everywhere. And that was
I don't see disco parties. Not by me.
starting to become back again real big. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, especially in
There's
the Hispanic community. We've got some of our viewers. Arturo is one that he does a lot of. He and his boys, I think, do a lot of disco parties out in California.
There's a whole EDM a genre called new disco, and it's spelled NU disco.
Right, that I know, but I don't compare it to like the 70s disco.
Darn near remake. A lot of them are remakes. They remake every disco song that was popular. Someone is remade for the new disco genre.
Yeah,
Interesting.
But
Okay.
we're talking about what is dead. Okay, now, and I heard one of the first things that I saw someone do, they talked about that Rane is no longer going to be made in the U.S. It's going to be a piece of junk. Okay, first off, how many things can you name that are made in the U.S. that are a piece of junk? Not because they say, oh, if it's not made in America, it's junk. But there's a lot of stuff made in America that's junk. Okay. First off, you also have to think about how much was made of that it was assembled in America from some American parts and most foreign boards.
Yep.
It was just assembled here. So we're taking that. And you have to keep in mind that those people who assemble it aren't necessarily DJs. They are people who work a factory job to assemble things, making so many dollars an hour to assemble this thing and thinking about when they get off work and start playing Pokemon Go. They may not be as passionate about the product as you are. So you have to look at what is dead. Is it dead the way you want it to be dead? Is the brand going to be gone forever? Is it the fact that the brand will be changing? Is that what you mean by dead?
Well, I think a lot with that, just to cut you off for 1 second, I think a lot of people are comparing it to like what happened with Denon. So I think some people are kind of like, oh, look what happened when Denon got sold and look what happened with all that. And now Rane, now look what's going on with Rane. So I think people are more kind of doing the comparison instead of seeing like, hey, what is really going to happen with Rane? I mean, I know I'm upset, but I'm probably upset for other reasons because I am a Rane user. Mm-hmm. So, who knows what's going to happen now? Like I wrote in the chat, I mean, I had relationships with reps, at Rane that lost their job, but were always there for me when I called and I needed something. And am I going to have that same quality wherever I'm calling? Or am I going to need a translator? Or am I going to somebody by the name of Mike?
Anybody. You may not even need anybody.
Yeah, or somebody by the name of Mike is going to get on the phone, and I know his name isn't Mike.
Oh, my name is Mike. Can I help you, please?
Yeah, like I know his name isn't Mike, and I need to ask him about something with my 62, and he's like, okay, let me look up manual. My accents suck, but as you all know, I've done accents before. So like in my opinion, I feel bad for the employees that are out of jobs, in Washington, right? That's
Yes.
where
Yep.
Just
right.
Seattle is where it's from.
Seattle, right? Out there that didn't know anything, and then again, is it going to be like another Denon type thing? Because isn't it the same company?
Yep,
right?
the same company. No, Shani, when you're referring to a Denon, like Jimmy mentioned, that Denon came out with the MCX 8000 afterwards. Because the 6000 and the 6000 MK2 and the 2000 and 3000 were all done
Afterwards.
before. Those were all, yeah. So the 8000 is the only thing that came out of new in music so far, and I guess I've got the 8000. I've been playing with it a little bit.
6000s were after. The 6000 MK2 was after.
Maybe the MK2 was, but the 6000.
The 6000 was like right like
after.
I think maybe like a month later, right? Yeah.
Because they would have had.
We're going to get into later on about what it has to offer, because there can be good gained by Rane joining in, because you look at the Denon and Newmark and the different products are now getting Akai pads on them, and Akai pads are known as being incredible. So dead can mean different things. Dead to some people just means change.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't like the change because, like Ryan said, when he was on the phone with Rane, 2 minutes tops, he was already talking to tech support for whatever he needs. Is that going to be the same thing now for whatever number he's calling and whoever he's calling? And
Yeah, they were one of the companies that were good for that.
Yeah, really good. Them and Serato. Serato was really good too. And it's like, is that what's going to happen now? I don't know. I wasn't a Denon person to have tech support to call now that they're not Denon. I mean, I had friends that work there that no longer, are Denon reps anymore. And it's the same thing with Rane. It's interesting to see what's going to happen is, now they're going to come up with a crazy Rane mixer that's going to be like, oh my God, I need to get it. I need to get it. This is better than,
We're gonna get into that too.
Okay. All right. I'm jumping.
No, that's fine. The question for you, Shani, because you're a Pioneer person,
Yeah.
I saw this coming. I told people Rane is hurting. It was a year ago. I told people Rane is hurting. I thought Pioneer was going to buy them because Pioneer, in my opinion, is the only one that makes a comparable mixer to the Rane mixer.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I mean, I had the 57 when I first started DJing, and then with the whole thing with what happened with Scratch Live and this and that, and got rid of the 57, and then I got the 62. But then things like the S9 came out, and when they say boys and their toys, I mean, I guess I'm one of them. It's the turning knobs thing. I had to hit that. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. It's also going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the Serato boxes.
I got that one on you too.
Before we get into that, Dan, now have you had experience using Rane products?
Yeah, I started. In fact, when I first went to digital, and this is kind of funny, I used the Newmark knockoff, we'll say, if it was the virtual vinyl of the Serato box. Never could get it to work.
Yeah.
Went up and down tech support, everything else. Was fortunate enough that the company that I bought it from allowed me to return it and got the SL1, and I used it for years and had great success with it for what it was. I mean, but then, kind of like what MJ was saying, I kind of saw something going on with Rane. They weren't coming to the Atlantic City show. They may have been showing it up at other ones, but they stopped coming to Atlantic City, and it was almost like when they lost the cooperation, I will say, with Serato, I felt like that was the sign that Rane was no longer. Now, I'm not using the 62. I'm not using the 68 and all the extra ones. And I know those were still powerful, but I never was seeing anything from them that made me think, yeah, they're healthy. They're going to be around forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to move on this because we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about what they sell, because I'm going to
surprise by the time we're done.
I'm going to surprise people with what they sell. Rane is not a publicly traded company. They're a privately owned company, so there wasn't a lot of financial stuff I could find on them. But let's look at the next section. Why did they sell? Why could they have possibly sold? First one, the co-founders, Linda Rink, if I'm pronouncing that right, Rink, and Dennis Bond, maybe they just wanted to retire. Maybe that's all it became to. I used to work for a company that was started by a guy and his two sons took over it, and they ran it for years. And then when they wanted to retire, their kids didn't want to run it, so they sold it. So this could be just simply nothing more than the two owners were like, hey, let's retire. In music could have seriously offered them a boatload of money to do it. There was a radio station here in Pittsburgh that had been in business since 1973, and Clear Channel offered them a bunch of money to change to a lower tower so they could have the tower, and they took it, and now that radio station is not even on the map. So it could be just money. They might have been in financial trouble, which we're going to talk about what could have caused them to be in financial trouble in a minute. They were a solid company. Everything was going fine, but growth could have been slow. And maybe they were going, well, running it is not having any sort of public offering when it comes to stocks. Their growth was limited. And that could have been part of it. And the other one is the bad news. They could have just been battling giants.
Very possible.
So what do you guys think of those? I mean, for reasons, possibility, or anything that I missed?
I think the observation I had with Rane the last few years is that we go to NAMM, and NAMM is a time to show all of the pretty and all the new. And it's been a number of years since there's really been anything that was noteworthy. Little tweaks. MJ, when I would send you pictures back, and you were like, "Yeah, okay, what that looks like what I saw last year," kind of a thing. So I think that part of the maybe and I think I remember in the InMusic press release it did talk about the owners retiring, and is it a case of where we've been there, done that? Which, on a side note, I thought Rane has been around the industry a lot longer than it actually has, because what the late '80s is when it came on. I just had assumed, because it's always been in. In my DJ world, we started off with the cheap PV things, and by the time I understood what a mixer was back in, getting into the late '80s, it's like, oh yeah, Rane was the one you needed to go get, and it cost $1 gazillion.
We're gonna talk about that too.
So I just think it was one of those things that it probably looks like a couple of some of the owners are just our time. We've been here, we've done that, we made our name, and now we're tired, and it's time to move on.
All right, Dan, how many products do you think Rane makes?
I'm going to ballpark say 20.
Shani, how many products does Rane make?
More than 20, I think.
John?
5.
They make 76 products.
Yeah.
No way. Where they have them?
Because they have two sides. They have a DJ side and a side where they call the contractor side.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say DJ side is only a handful if you look at that.
Contractor side includes interfaces, processors, delays, remote devices such as put a plug in the wall that accepts XLR cords, that sort of thing, simple add-on volumes. It's on that side. But for the DJ side, they have 9 products.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so a few more than that then.
Standard mixers that most DJs use. 2 are specialty mixers, those rotary mixers. So that is for a very specialized audience. And 3 of them are SL boxes. So that's all they sell to the DJ world. So that's all that kind of hits what we're talking about. The only other company that makes a Serato box is Denon. And who is Denon owned by?
InMusic.
So they now own all of basically the Serato boxes you could possibly buy. But was that known ahead of time? Because the Denon Serato box isn't all that old. So maybe they knew about this and grabbed the technology from them and ran with that. So the products themselves that are there, we're talking about growing and stuff like that. 4 products, basically, more or less, that are their money makers.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say money makers, because if you put in the contracting side, that's a lot of little sell items that are in big places, like I said, because there's a whole bunch of stuff over there. Like I said, if you go to the Rane site, it'll let you choose DJs or contractors. And if you're the contractors, you have a drop-down menu that's stuff that I didn't even know they made. Just blew my mind.
Yeah.
You hit on something as far as, and maybe alluded to in your multiple possibilities, but, when you said that, Denon has this box. So let's assume for a second that they did not get the technology from Rane and they developed it on their own. Rane could have potentially seen some of the writing on the wall of saying, you know what, somebody else has come along and they're doing that, and we don't, our other mixers are not kind of standalone. Maybe it's time that we do get out of this game because people are catching up because we don't have maybe as many new things to offer.
The exclusivity of Serato, I think, was when I saw the change when Serato opened up, and I'm almost positive that they were licensed to them. And when their license went up, it became open to everything else, including the controllers. That's where I saw the kind of the grip loosening.
Mm-hmm.
So. Rane 64. How much does it cost, Shani?
How much did I pay for it, or how much does it cost?
It costs, not you. We're not getting your numbers. It's like me getting stuff from Denon. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about those numbers. You know what I'm saying?
How much did it fall out of the back of a truck or no?
House, what am I going to do with it? I just put it to use.
These guys, they kind of just gave it to me, told me to look the other way. No, I'm just fine. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Rane products are expensive.
Yeah. About $2,200 for the 64.
Yeah, they're not cheap. And the Serato boxes when they first came out, even the SL3 and the SL4 are still very expensive.
56 is around $850, and that rotary mixer that's a specialty item is a $2,000 item.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about why they're hurting right here. And the reason I mentioned those prices first is how long does the average DJ hold on to their Rane mixer for?
I don't know many people who have replaced their Rane mixer.
Exactly. So you don't have repeat sales, which, let's say I go out and buy one, love it, and keep it for 10 years, 15 years. They don't have more money from me for 15 years. And it's the same reason I keep telling people, watch out that the software that we're using, just like Windows Office, is now a subscription. I'm telling you, expect DJ software to not be a purchase, but a subscription soon. Keep an eye out for it. So that is the business model. That's why I keep talking about this. This isn't our passion. It's their business. So they don't look at it in, we're cool because we're Rane. They look at it because it's a business. So the company in itself makes such a good product that they can't keep making money off you. It's like light bulbs. They can make light bulbs that last a lot longer, but they want you to keep buying more light bulbs, so they give them a shortened life. So with this company making such great things, they don't have a big turnover of stuff. A good argument is my friend Jonathan and I were talking about, he bought 64 and he's like, I'm going to have this for the next 10 years and you're going to buy something else. I'm like, that's right. I'm going to get something new with new technology, new hookups, new everything. And by the time that 10 years is over, I'm going to get new stuff all the time, and I'm still going to pay less than your mixer. That's where he wanted something that didn't change, and I wanted something that did change. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel the audience is changing, because before, people wanted to get something and hold on to it, an amp or whatever, for years. But now we want new stuff all the time. We want a new phone every year. This is the mentality. So the business of the business now has to go towards that model. So that was my thing about why they could be hurting in that sense, is because they make a good product.
Yeah, exactly. They do. They make a good product. I mean, the only reason why I got rid of my 57 was to replace it with a newer version because of the whole Scratch Live Serato DJ thing. I mean, I probably would have kept that 57 till, if those knobs would have fallen off, I would have put some pencil erasers or
people have, I'm sure.
Gummy bear. The color keys. Is that the name of, no, not color. What's the
chroma key?
Yeah,
color caps.
Color caps is that. Yeah, I don't do color caps, but I'm Ghetto is part of my middle name sometimes. So I'll put a pencil eraser on there. I'll do what I have to do, but it was in great condition, and I was sad to part with the 57 because I loved it so much, but I couldn't use it anymore to what I needed to use it.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of the flack that came back from that too, that you saw at least in the, some of the forums on Facebook and stuff, of just going, I can't believe they would do that. And, and they gave a reasoning that the technology had surpassed what the mixer could do. Why couldn't they just, sometimes things can't keep up and you have to go new. And oh my gosh, I remember the backlash that I would see through.
It was huge. People even with the S1 boxes. They were like, what do you mean I got to buy a new Serato box and I got to spend more money? I've had this one works for me. That's great, but it's not going to work with, you go to the club and it's got this mixer. It's not going to work. Yeah, sorry. That's why they come out with the new ones.
It's business. Their business is to get your money. It's not to make you happy. It is.
And they did. They got my money. They did. I haggled with them, but they got my money.
I think Apple phones are the perfect model for keeping people interested and on, because they could throw all this technology they have, all the things because I remember one of the first iPhones I had could not record video, but other phones could. And I was so ticked off. I'm going to go get another phone. So they just put the next one out that it could record video, but they had the technology prior to that. They knew that. So this is the business model that is going on right now with companies. You look at Pioneer, how many different controllers do they have now?
You know what? Now they just came out with the new little record box ones, that like are like the SR and the SB. They came out with those for like, I mean, they're always coming out, and they came out with the big concert series, the club series, DJs for like millionaires.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, it's ever changing.
So that's the business model now, the norm. So a company who doesn't fit into that, like Rane, who just puts out a product, someone buys it, keeps it for 10 years, they just couldn't compete. 60 employees isn't a lot, and I'm sorry to hear them out of work, but permanently displaced, Dave. That was the wording they used, permanently displaced.
Yeah, I mean,
they fired him. Come on.
Yeah. They did. I mean, they did. I mean, like I said, my rep has been working there for over 20 years, and she's got a family and everything, and it was a second income for her and her husband. And it happens. I mean, because how many of us have had day jobs where we've just got permanently displaced from?
Yeah.
It happens. So it's not just in that. It's half the reason I ended up working for myself, because I got tired of, putting my heart into a company and them doing massive layoffs. And, I want to, last thing I was saying, we can take this thing anywhere we want to after this, but this is a quote from one of the co-owners. What is it? I can't remember her first name. Arakin. What is it? Begins with an L.
Sure.
Yeah. Linda Arakin. She says, feels that with the added resources, engineering talent, and additional IP, and IP is an intellectual property, of In Music, they are the ideal buyer for Rane Corporation to help them grow now and in the future. Keep in mind, there are only 3 ways in the United States for a company to have a strong intellectual property. That is patents, trademarks, or copyrights. So In Music is now growing by grabbing more and more and more and more, so that gives them more power. Will they change it? Who knows? Can they change it? Absolutely. But the fact is, it's in front of us. There's nothing we're going to do to stop it. So now we have to live with it. So what are we going to do to function daily now with our Rane / In Music?
Robots again. I keep bringing up robots when I'm on the show.
But it's funny because one of the things that immediately comes to my mind is, you talked about how they have the Akai pads and different things like that. So you put the Rane components of the mixer in the middle of the controller. You've got the Akai pads on the sides, and you've got the wheels of
Tell me that wouldn't be a dream. Tell me that wouldn't be a dream for them to create 7-inch turntables, smaller ones that work just like the 1200s, but are more fitting. Put a Rane mixer in the center with Akai pads, build in Serato, and throw a screen in there too for goodness sake.
It's only going to weigh 800 pounds.
800 pounds, cost you $4,000 or $5,000, but people will buy it up because there's the word Rane on it.
And I want the cues. I don't want to have to use the whatchamacallit on my
the dicers?
Yeah, I don't want to have to use dicers. So yeah, no, I wasn't turning knobs on that one. I was actually hitting buttons.
Anybody who's in the business is listening right now. Never create another product that has less than 8 buttons. Okay, don't give me this. I have to flip a button to get the next thing. I don't freaking want to do that. I'm DJing. I don't have the time to flip to the next thing. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Next screen.
All right, so okay. MJ, your next project is...
I got a couple of questions.
I have designed one that I'm trying. I thought I had an in with Carl at In Music to get this thing developed, but he changed ships. Another one got displaced. That's part of life. He went from Pioneer and thought he was going to make a strong move, and that company changed, and now he's with another one. But I have it in sizing because it goes with ergonomics of size, of body size, where things are at. Because here's something that you guys probably, Shane's probably the only one of you three that would even think of this. You want your cue buttons in front of the platters or behind the platters?
I know, like I hate when
Across them to scratch, or do you want to reach across them to hit the buttons?
right.
Everybody's going to be different. So you have to think, but I think they're not thinking about it for the fact that Denon is now kicking their pitch faders to the outside. So when you're scratching on the left deck, the pitch fader's over here and you're hitting it with your pinky all the time. Some idiot there who designed that does not DJ. Okay? So let's change this up. Let's use some common sense. Let's talk to the DJs. I believe Rane was a company that listened to people. So now let's if we're going to absorb them into another company, let's learn from them too.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody knew Mike May, who was at Rane for, I don't even know how long, he retired, a year ago, I think. I mean, he listened to everybody, and at every trade show, he was right there next to the Rane reps and just listen to what the DJs had to say. And that's great customer service. And we could all build that into our own DJ business, customer service like that.
Yeah. But we still got to compete on the big business level.
Yeah, that's true.
John, you said you had questions.
Okay, I got a couple of questions on this now. First off, some of you
We're
might
not
have...
removing the stick buttons. Shut up.
What's
Sorry.
Don't use them. I don't use them.
I love
Don't
you.
use them.
I love you, dude, for commenting and being part of this. But just like someone saying, "Oh, don't use your cell phone at a restaurant. Don't use your cell phone at the club." It's a part of life. It's here to stay.
Don't use it.
Sort of the screens, Andre. Shut up. Okay.
I know. I got to deal with the screens. I'm gonna have to own a screen here soon. I know it.
So one of the I put the shows up, and of course on my Facebook page, and there was a response right away that they're going to be made in China, which of course, as MJ pointed out, a lot of the parts were produced around the world and assembled in the United States. But then they showed a picture, a mock-up that somebody did, and they basically put an iPad on a Rane mixer.
Funny.
Will it, if they do go with something like that is using these screens, is that going to deteriorate the Rane quality just by having that, or is it kind of like the sync button where that people, it's just a part of the tool and it's people are freaking out for the wrong reason?
I think the people who really cared about Rane and the quality of Rane and the product of Rane are wise to what has happened. They're not going to go to Atlantic City. They're not going to go to NAMM or any of the, well, NAMM you can't buy, but they're not going to go to any of the trade shows and go, "Oh, I'm going to buy this mixer, and it's Rane who's been around for years and expects it to be the exact same project." I think anybody who cares about the quality of Rane is wise to the fact that it's bought by another group and is going to see that. Now, so from seeing those new elements on there, does it deteriorate the quality? I don't think any more than I'm now aware that it's not the same company that it was a week and a half ago.
I think John's picture is the perfect example that he talked about, that somebody put that out. I don't think the big deal is going to be quality. I don't think we're going to. I just don't think we're going to notice quality. What we're going to notice is a freak change in the look of the product. That's what I think is going to be bad.
And I think as you mentioned earlier in the show, MJ, where the components, they're going to be bringing some of the higher end components. And Chris Roman from Newmark has talked about this, is that they're still wanting to keep distinct differences between Newmark and Denon. And you're going to see the same thing with Rane and Akai. They want to keep their differences, but they're going to be sharing technology when it makes sense. And I think you're going to see, as they move into a Rane controller, you're probably going to see a quieter controller, and you're going to see buttons that are at a different quality level. And then, of course, you will see some of the technology moving over to the higher-end Denon and higher-end Newmark units.
Yeah, so think about that. Maybe those of you out there who use controllers, you might be getting a high-quality controller now with a mixer in the center that is your average 10-inch width measurements with high-quality faders, replaceable crossfader. Who knows? But
USB controller / mixer. There you go.
Someone put in there that he would buy. I think that's RTG. I think my friend. He would buy a Rane controller. Shani, would you buy a Rane controller? I know you're a Pioneer person.
No, but I still like, I'm a Pioneer person, but I still, I have a Serato box. I had the 57, I had the 62. If it's a great product and it's something that's going to help me with what I need to do. Yeah. But I'm also one of those people that I don't buy the first thing that comes off the conveyor belts. I did that once with a car. And
Dan, would you buy one? Just because of the name, would it entice you with having the name?
The name alone, no. But I'm not. That's the way I am with most things.
Cool. I would look at it because, like I said, nobody's made my ideal controller yet. The closest is the NS7, but they just need to make it a little lighter. That's all. No complaints.
Yeah.
But lightness comes with less quality. I mean, it's not going to take as hard a hit if you make it lighter because you're making things in it, that aren't as strong. But
to wrap things up, last question: who's left in the mixer world? I mean, you've got Pioneer, and you've got InMusic.
You've got that new one. The what is it? They were just at the show in the fall in LA.
Yeah.
What is it?
Shoot.
Anybody knows that in there? It's the
Mix something or another.
Yeah, it's a new company. They come out with mixers, all that kind of stuff. Crap. They have them. They have the one that you get people in the chat. You're really gonna have to help us. The one that DJ Kubert has in there. That company.
Well, keep in mind they're a little bit behind, so they're not going to help you right away.
I'm trying to remember here. Why are people telling me
TRX?
to work out more? Why are people telling me to work out more?
Vestex.
Vestex is actually a new. The other people are telling me I need to work out more. Why? Okay. I do work at Heath and Allen, American Audio. There we go.
And Mixware, I think, was one of them.
Mixars. Yep, that was the
Mixars. Yep, and
Mixars. That right?
That was it. Yep, Mixars. Okay. MIXARS.
Yeah.
Thud Rumble, that company that makes them.
Allen and Heath, American Audio.
I can't remember the name of it. Well, there it is. What is it? It's not. What is it? Not TRX. What is it? TRX mixer. Who makes the TRX mixer? Someone.
Thud Rumble.
No. Their name is on it. But anyways, they're one, and that to me was the takeover of the Vestex because the Vestex mixer was king of scratch.
Was it DJ Tech? Or is that I'm following blanks at this point?
Might have been DJ Tech possibly. But
that's on. I mean, it's on their website.
Vestex is possibly coming back. They're in with another one now.
Was Vestex in with Behringer? Did they buy them?
No, I can't remember the name of the company. It's Vestex STP. That's what they're going to be called.
Who did Behringer buy? They bought somebody, I thought. Somebody who did boards.
I remember hearing about that now too, and I'm blanking.
Yeah.
Somebody at the beginning of the hour mentioned about Behringer, as I like to call it.
Behringer.
But I don't know why did we come with this? All mixing other companies that have them. Like I said, in my opinion, for anybody who would buy a Rane, the only other option you have, I believe, is the Pioneer. That's my opinion. People who would own a Rane, the only other one they possibly could, DJ Tech. Thank you, Jimmy. The only one that they could, I think, is comparable is the Pioneer. Nobody else is even close as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think we have completed our task.
We have beaten the Rane monster.
Is the horse dead?
I think, well, we flushed it out. We talked about it here. We took it around the corner, slapped it up a little bit.
Oh,
that defines what is dead. What is dead? The horse is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, so we've got DJ Expo coming up here. Shani, you're coming in?
Yes, I will be at DJ Expo. I'm part of 2 seminars. So I will be there, and I might be spinning at one of the events.
It's not going to be that fake DJ competition, is it? So those of you who are listening, please, somebody. I'm on with John, trying to get a hold of the people. I'm waiting for John. This needs to change.
I'm so glad I was not on that show. I'm not going to lie.
Because you're one of the Media Award winners. You won 2 Media Awards.
I did. I won 2 awards on doing that. But I did. I was the two guys that I was talking to that you were talking about. Actually, I name dropped one of the names when I was talking to you earlier, when I'm going to New York tomorrow, who's picking me up and taking me out to listen to real music. I joked around with them that I was going to compete in it this year, and I was going to have like just a staff of like 20 roadies that could just set up DJ equipment within like 10 seconds for me, so nobody really can like figure out what is happening. And of course, have dance doing like a thing, and then just do a whole DJ set, and then be like, there's my DJ of the year competition. I wouldn't drop the mic though. I would do the air horn.
I'm hoping they'll let me in it, because I'll do the whole thing. I'll run the thing by myself with that there, and then I'm going to turn around all of them and go, this is the DJ competition.
You can't have equipment on the stage, though. That's the whole thing. That's not their version.
Not a DJ competition. Change it. It has
nothing to do with me. I'm not.
You're a previous winner, so like if this was a Miss America competition, you need to step up.
I'm nobody. I am nobody. I'm
you hold your strength than I do.
I am nobody. I'm a peon like everybody else.
Everybody loves you.
I might be Chi-Town Shaney, but I am a peon. I'm like everybody else.
You make this show what it is.
Talk to Mike Walter and see, he's the one that produces the show at DJ Time. So I agree. I mean, I agree with the name of it. It's misleading, and it's misleading for people that do. But anyways, back to the rest of DJ Expo and the other days. And
yes, seminar. That's good. Pete, you need to sell your seminar. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it'll be very interesting. I can't wait to see the showroom floor and see what's happening, and hopefully it's not a photo booth every two booths this year.
It wasn't so much that last year.
It was.
I thought it seemed down from the year before.
It was photo booth mania.
So it went from 20 down to 18. That's down.
Yeah.
Well, now it's going to go up because they're going to have that stupid pull behind trailer. So.
I hope that's there.
They're going to have an RV section where you're going to have the RV for photo booths, and the RV for DJing, and the RV for lights, and
they're going to have their own room. Like it'll be like the EV sponsored room, and then they'll have the RV room next to it.
We can only hope for such entertainment.
That'd be so awesome. That'd be so awesome. All right, we have gone an hour. We need to wrap things up. Thank you guys for being with us and watching tonight. If you've got any questions or anything and you want to put those into the chat, please wait and put that into the chat down below. Any comments, thoughts, if you want to, say yay or nay on the whole Rane thing, put it down there. We'd really appreciate it, and we will comment on those and follow those this week. Gang, thank you much for being on tonight. And we'll find some more topics to talk about next week. Jimmy's going to get the photo booth and he's going to sleep in it. That's exciting, especially when he wants to charge $10 a minute or whatever the hell.
It was $10 a minute or 30 seconds or I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Two pictures. I don't remember what it was.
It could. Hopefully there's more of that Viagra stuff that we talked about on one of the other shows over there. So anyway, that was an interesting night we've had.
At the end of that was sketchy.
We had an interesting night tonight. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We will catch you tomorrow night with our Tuesday night music chat. We're going to be going through tomorrow night dinner music, of all things. We're going to talk about things to play during the cocktail time, and then we got our Q&A, and then we'll be back next Monday night with our full line of shows. Good night.